Guys, big movements are on the horizon, and when they do show up, they'll happen fast. Allow me to provide my candid outlook on what XRP will do in the near future in today's video. Which course will it follow? Alright, I predict that it will be both bullish and bearish simultaneously. Additionally, I'll include the supporting statistics from Chad. XRP has had net outflows for 14 days in a row, yet the price is still around $2. Guys, just read that again. After 14 days of net outflows, the price of XRP remains at $2. It implies that people are making sales. This indicates that funds are escaping from this XRP asset. The intriguing aspect, though, is that XRP continues to maintain this level. That's strange, correct? The price reversed and rose from $25 to $329 over 18 days during the last time it lasted 14 days on outflows, which was, I believe, this time frame. Alright, the money began to pour back in. It appeared to be correct. So, is that a recurrence of what is going to occur? Guys, have a look at the current state of the XRP versus Bitcoin pairing. Alright, there's something fascinating happening. However, it seems to me that XRP needs to act fast. It will literally die if it doesn't. Let's start with the shorter time frames and have a look at this. 2260 then? Guys, 2260 is right here. It's right here, literally. Take a look at how near it was. However, it gets bought up each time it returns to that level, correct? This is a Bitcoin versus XRP pairing. Therefore, if this pumps, it indicates that either XRP is outperforming Bitcoin or that money is moving from Bitcoin to XRP. Thus, if that is, if Bitcoin pumps and this continues to move higher, XRP pumps harder, so it is still being defended. Or if Bitcoin dumps, XRP will dump less. The fact that this level is still being defended is absurd, isn't it? Additionally, I'm beginning to see some encouraging indicators. Guys, the hourly appears to be optimistic. It was recently verified that the 4-hourly has concealed bullish divergences. The 12-hourly was activated. In 8 hours, it will be confirmed, correct? It is quite bullish, people, because bullish things happen if it is still around this price. It will then snowball into this time frame, which is a daily one, if that is confirmed, isn't it? Additionally, it will have a fantastic motion and just snowball. Bitcoin is the only problem here, isn't it? Guys, the daily Bitcoin price just showed a definite bearish divergence, which is also a strong indicator on the 12-hourly. And on a 4-hourly basis? Just plain signage. In other words, XRP has to move fast right now, alright? It literally has to move fast or else, in my opinion, it will fall and fall to hell. I'll tell you what I believe will happen with XRP though, and it's all because of this liquidity heat map. I believe that XRP will rise. In my honest view, it will also move downward, but I'm not sure if that will happen today, tomorrow, next week, or in a month. Will it go down, then up, and then down again? Guys, here's my stuff. There is a lot of liquidity. By the way, when XRP was back at this level, I told myself that when it was above $2, it was important to not be tricked since there was a lot of liquidity building up at these lows. Guys, the market makers will not deceive me, and I do think it will return to these lows eventually. Yes, I do think that. In addition, I believe they will also experience those low points because of the decline in Bitcoin, correct? Guys, we are currently at a crossroads. Right now, my only concern is whether they will pump it first, throw it away. There are a few alternative routes that I have in mind. Thus, they dump it first, pump it, and then dump it. Isn't that right? Such as that. Or will they pump it, dump it, and then dump it again? Which route will they follow in this situation? I'm not entirely sure, but given the emergence of bullish indicators, this chart may be able to front-run it, correct? The sole requirement is that it must endure, correct? It must endure, but it's approaching too closely. It's coming pretty close to being a little invalidated, isn't it? Well, yes. Overall, though, I genuinely believe that even if XRP pumps, it will dump. Guys, I feel like I'm not losing sight of this bearish event that is coming up. In my view, the reason why excitement doesn't really set in For example, XRP reaching double digits and Bitcoin reaching between $500 and $1 million is because of what happened in 2020 and how they managed to get you out of it before it started. Well, keep in mind the adage, "We want you out before it starts." That did, in fact, occur in 2020, correct? I think they're going to do it again because of a black swan occurrence, and this was exactly what I wanted to see, and it just so happened. According to Jim Cramer of CNBC, the U.S. will not experience a recession. Keep in mind that the reverse happens 90% of the time, regardless of what he says. Therefore, he is stating that there will not be a recession, more specifically, an UNAC recession, which implies that there will be something worse, if not worse, to be honest. And that has to do with XRP's decline. What if there is a recession in the United States? What are the potential bottom points for XRP's price? Here, I'm seeing $1. Alright, this is 85 cents. Finally, but just as importantly 60 cents, correct? Therefore, XRP will be at the bottom of one of these zones. I have a very strong sense that today won't see it happen, correct? It's likely still necessary to remove the fluid from the upper sides. I believe that the bottom side was also used to deceive everyone before making this move. Here are my reasons for believing that cryptocurrencies will eventually crash and that XRP's price will drop, correct? I can't recall the short term, but I believe a pump because several optimistic indicators are showing up for XRP. Long term, not long term, but I believe a drop will occur in around 2 months. This is the reason. Do you guys not see any liquidity forming here and there as a result of this? This is what I believe is going to happen, guys. Therefore, I'm not sure what will occur in the near future, am I correct? However, I do think it will eventually pump this liquidity into the 7% range, don't you think? After that, it will truly die. Why? Because when this happens, the Fed will begin printing 20 to 30 trillion. Alright? Guys, they don't want you to get wealthy before this chart starts. So we're heading to the races. They then say that alt season will start because alts take off when this chart dumps. This is what I believe will occur. This chart, in my opinion, will eventually rise above this area to capture this liquidity before peaking. Here, it will be about 75%, correct? The reason for this is that all this liquidity is forming below right now, and when this thing does take that rest in peace path, it will die. But first I feel like Bitcoin coin will still be in the lead, guys, and then it will literally die. This is how it will go at some point, top, and then literally die, which will tie into the massive alt season, right? We shall see. Even though there are a lot of different ideas here, I think they all make sense, especially in light of the current recession. However, XRP needs to move quickly, people. If it doesn't, it will drop since those bearish indicators are going to force Bitcoin to dump. We'll wait and see. After all, we are currently at a crossroads. Things must begin to awaken. Ice is not a natural substance. How do we respond? Face mazes, then. See you.